We're going to answer this question on today's show. Could Mark Andrews be back on the trade block? If you didn't know, if you live under a rock, welcome back from living under that rock, because yesterday the Miami Dolphins dealt tight end Jonnu Smith to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Tom Pelissero shortly tweeted out after that, the Dolphins are now in conversations with multiple teams about acquiring a tight end after sending Jonnu Smith to Pittsburgh. Per sources, a wild start to the holiday week could get wilder. Now, I get what you're saying. You don't have to go in the comment section down below and type it out for me. I saw it as well. I get it. They added Darren Waller. Didn't even know that the Giants still owned his rights, but they traded, finalizing a trade with the Giants for former Pro Bowl tight end Darren Waller, who is coming out of retirement to play in Miami per sources. It's a fascinating twist for Waller, who retired last summer, and a new weapon for a team that just traded Jonnu Smith. So a lot of people might look at that and say, okay, they're done adding tight end. But I ask you, be for real. Like, serious. Waller is 32 years old and hasn't had a 600-plus yard season since 2021. Hasn't played in a season since 2023. And might I add again, he's 32 years old. So I still truly believe that even though they traded for Darren Waller from the New York Giants, they didn't have to give up much for him, obviously. I still think that Andrews, whether you like it or not, whether you believe it or not, might be back on the trade block. We're going to break down what that looks like on today's show. Thank you so much for spending your day with us. But we're starting a new sub-battle in the month of July. This one is against the top dogs of the AFC, and I need you guys to let me know who runs it. Who runs the AFC? Is it the Ravens? Is it the Chiefs? Or is it Bills Breakdown? Well, one way I can know is if you guys help us win this sub-battle this month, you can help me out by hitting that free big red subscribe button. Lock us in today. Help us prove that we're the top dogs of the AFC. Here was the trade that went down yesterday, a rare player-for-player trade. Obviously, you got some draft picks in there, two really good players the Steelers are getting with Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith, and the Dolphins got Minkah Fitzpatrick. You didn't come and hear me break this trade down, though, because I did it yesterday. So that's not what I'm going to do today. I'm going to talk about what that trade might mean and the fact that Miami could be looking for Mark Andrews. So why Andrews could be traded? I got three reasons for you. We're going to start with number one. I would assume, just like I said on the top, just because they added Darren Waller, I don't think that means Miami is just done looking for tight end. Like, I don't think that because they added in a tight end out of retirement, they're just like, okay, like, we're good now. Doesn't make sense to me. Because you still have to look at that depth chart that they have. And you still got to realize that's probably not good enough. Julian Hill, Pharaoh Brown, and now a 32-year-old just come out of retirement, Darren Waller. Like, let's be real. This is a JV unit. And I would know. I once played JV football. Now, I'm not saying that's like putting ninth grade me on this roster, but let's be real. It's pretty close. Like, that is not good enough for a tight end room in the National Football League, especially on a team with a coach like Mike McDaniel. That doesn't have that great of a defense, especially now with losing Jalen Ramsey, and is going to have to score 50 points a game if they want to win any kind of football games. It's crystal ball time. You predict it for me. Will the Dolphins try to trade for Mark Andrews? Not will the Ravens trade him. Will the Dolphins try to? You let me know in the comment section down below by giving me a yes or a no. Another reason I feel like why Andrews could be traded is you got to remember, throw it back to April, throw it back to the draft. He was shopped then. Like, he was pretty much shopped the entire offseason. We all remember talking about this tweet from Cole Jackson. The streets have indicated that there's been an uptick in trade interest in tight end Mark Andrews after Evan Ingram signed a deal. Andrews is due a roster bonus on Monday. Regardless, expect the path forward to be solved soon. Now, obviously, a trade didn't end up happening, but Cole Jackson has some pretty great sources, and I truly believe him when he says there's been an uptick in trade interest after the Evan Ingram deal. And then we got to remember what all the NFL insiders were saying around the time of the NFL draft. Ian Rappaport said, I may give it that it is very much up in the air. I wouldn't be surprised, based on what I'm hearing, if some team does come in and make an offer the Ravens can't refuse. Then, of course, Adam Schefter added his own little nugget. I wonder if there's a team that is looking at draft prospect like Tyler Warren, a Colston Loveland, and doesn't get him. Turns around, says to Baltimore, we'll give you a third-round pick for Mark Andrews. So the insiders, they talked about it. This was a legitimate thing that happened. This was a legitimate interest from other teams in the National Football League. But you also have to remember, Eric DeCosta at one point, it felt like he gave a public goodbye to Mark Andrews. You remember when he said that at the Combine? He was asked about him, and he said, I never know what's going to happen. I would never want to say this or that, but I can tell you this. Andrews is a warrior, and he's played his butt off for us. His competitiveness, his talent, his attitude, his leadership is so valued here, and he's a great player. I think we're in the business of keeping as many great players as we can. He went on to say a ton of different cryptic things that it kind of made it seem like he was fattening the pig before the slaughter, might I add. Nobody ended up giving Baltimore what they were hoping for, right? I think they were truly hoping for a third-round pick. I believe that some of the teams probably offered a fifth, or at least maybe not officially offered that, but kind of was like, hey, under the table, would you take a fifth? But nobody was back then as desperate as I feel like Miami is right now, or how Miami might be when they realize that Darren Waller, whether it's before the season starts or in the season, is probably not going to pan out. You want Andrews to keep Baltimore, okay? Let me know how you're voting by liking today's video. If you want that to happen, hit that thumbs up button and let me know if you want 89 to stay in the Charm City. Coming up next, we got one more reason that Mark Andrews could be traded. Sit tight. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to break it all down for you in just a couple of seconds. But before that, if you want the jersey of the guy I'm rocking today on my shirt, go to chatsports.com/Lamar jersey and get yours today. You can get it in purple. You could get it in black. They got tons of different sizes. These things are flying off the shelf. They've been our highest seller right here on Fanatics for the entirety of this offseason. So get yours quickly. Get it now. You can support our friends over at Fanatics. You can support the Baltimore Ravens. And when you make a purchase with our link, we get a little bit of the proceeds. Helps us keep the lights on. Helps us hire more people. Get this operation keep on going. So chatsports.com/Lamar jerseys where you need to go. Of course, that link's in the comments and description of today's video. The last reason why I believe that Andrews could be traded, and I think that this is the biggest reason of all of them, why they'd be okay with parting from Mark Andrews, is because they're very confident in Isaiah Likely. Flat out, plain and simple. And I have a hard time giving a tight end 1 or tight end 2 spot to either of these guys because I really feel like it's tight end 1A and tight end 1B, okay? But for sake of how last season went, we're going to put Mark in that tight end 1 spot. But I would not be shocked one bit if halfway through the year we're looking at this team and we're saying, you know what? Isaiah Likely is easily the tight end 1 on this roster now. The two ships have passed each other. It's moved from one to the other. This franchise has been lucky with a lot of really great tight ends. Pitta, Heap, Andrews. Now it might be Likely's turn. The good thing is Harbaugh sees that for him as well. Remember when he said, I want to see Likely be an all-pro? That's something he wants to see. That would be my goal for him. And here's the best part. And he's capable of it. John Harbaugh believes he's capable of being an all-pro. And Ryan Mink documented very well how great he was doing in minicamp. Said Likely made some impressive grabs during Wednesday's practice, showing that his superb hands have perhaps gotten even stickier this offseason. Then back at OTAs, tight end Isaiah Likely made 2 long receptions down the sideline from one Mr. Cooper Rush. He's been balling. He balled at the end of last season after kind of having a middle of the season. Was great in the playoffs, and he's been balling so far during minicamp. It seems like he's gotten even better throughout the entirety of this offseason. And you also have to remember the fact, right, that both of these guys are going into contract years. These are the last years of their deal. They're playing either for an extension with Baltimore or for a new deal with a new team. That's going to be a big decision for this front office this next season. And additionally, if they do end up trading Mark Andrews Whether it's now, whether it's in the season. I mean, it'd be a little bit less if it's in the season. But from now to the beginning of the season, Baltimore could save $11 million. Okay? If the Dolphins are desperate enough to send a third for Mark, I would do it. And I know, again, they added Darren Waller. But I legitimately could see this as something that could happen. Whether it's over the next couple of months, maybe after training camp, they realize Darren Waller isn't who they thought he would be. Maybe it's halfway through the season at the trade deadline, and they're just one missing tight end away. Maybe that's Mark Andrews. What say you guys? What's the % chance the Ravens trade Mark Andrews? Scale it for me 1 to 100 in the comment section down below. Weigh in and give me your answer. And while you're in the comments, you'll be able to see the links to my social media. You can find my Twitter there. You can find my Instagram, or you can look me up at Joey Petersen 8 on both platforms. Make sure to give me a follow there. Also, make sure you're subscribed to the channel.